Second, bona fide hustler here.
Raking profit in the house.
Cody Hawk.
Stefan Pylarinos.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Green Room Hangout number 56, our last Green Room Hangout on my channel. And I'm the bona fide hustler. I reside in Austin, Texas. I flip stuff that I find from garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, swap meets, pawn shops, and I put it on places like Amazon, eBay, Antique Booth, and FBA. This is what I do to make all my money. I'm an author of a book called Flip That Shh. We won't talk about that right now. And a Bikes to Bucks guide. And I'm an admin of the Green Room. I'll toss it over to my man-made Rakin. God, I'm like so nervous.
All right, man-made Rakin in the house. What's going on, everybody? My name's Steve. You can call me Rakin Profit, which I go by on YouTube. Quit my job over 2 years ago, and I've sold on platforms like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist. Doing Kindle publishing really hard nowadays, thanks to Stefan, man. So a big shout out to you. But loving life, it's awesome. And with that being said, let me pass it over to Cody Hawk.
What's going on, guys? Cody Hawk. Post a lot of YouTube videos under Cody Hawk. Make my income Amazon FBA, primarily private label products. Just doing my 18th right now. And Kindle publishing, a lot of really cool businesses, internet marketing. Let's go ahead and pass it over to Young.
Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry for being late. This is Young, also known as Retro Aficionado. Stefan, it's a pleasure to meet you and have you on the show. I live here in San Jose, California. I do Amazon. Let's see, I do eBay, Craigslist. I do it all.
All right, so now we turn it over to our guest, Stefan. Tell us more about yourself. Who are you, and where can people find you?
Yeah, my name is Stefan Pylarinos from Vancouver, Canada. I have a blog called projectlifemastery.com, as well as a YouTube channel and podcast. I teach Kindle publishing with a program called kmoneymastery.com. I am in the Amazon business as well, FBA, coaching, software business, just a variety of other online businesses.
And private label, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're gonna grill you for an entire hour. Are you okay with that? All right. So enough of being. We all got new cameras, by the way. So if you guys are looking at us right now on YouTube land and you're going, man, this is a really crisp and clear last show that Bonafide Hustler is doing on his channel, it's because we all got new cameras, and I think Young might not have plugged in his. But anyway,
Come on, Young.
for the next hour, we're going to be learning about how Stefan makes his sources of income, and it's going to be quite different from maybe some of the things that you've heard on previous Hangouts. So keep an open mind. It should be a lot of fun. And with that said, if you are watching us on YouTube, which is probably the only place you can watch this right now, look down below. There's a comment feed that's going on, and if you want to have a question for Stefan or any of that kind of stuff or remarks or whatever, put it down below, and we will try to get to it. There's going to be a lot of comments in this show, so I'm going to try real hard. Rakin's going to help me on the side as well. But let me shout out a couple people that are in the feed right now. Jacob Lamore, Blythe Snow, Ostex Picker, Arctic Thunder. Arctic Thunder, man. That was a great movie, wasn't it? Wait, was that a movie? Arctic Thunder? I swear it was. Tropic Thunder, right?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. Kelly Roberts, Hustler Hacks, who does all of our amazing art. James Tucker, Jeremiah Bryan, Cody Hawks in the comments. We have Mothership Products, Aaron Kipper, Captain Cellulite, Dan Mack, Tanya Sheets. All right, and some people are catching this for the very first time, so welcome to the Green Room Hangout number 56. Sorry, it's going to be the last one, but there's a really big chapter about to open for us. We'll talk to you about that later. Let's get into our guest. Rakin, you've been following Stefan for a while, right?
Man, I've been following Stefan back from the morning ritual days, where about 25 pounds of muscle ago, right? Been following him for a long time, man, and I was just saying earlier, man, I was thanking him because it's crazy. It's like, you guys know how it is on YouTube. Like, you follow people and like you get to know them and you build a relationship, and they don't even know you, man. It's like I feel like he's like one of my good friends, but we're just meeting for the first time. So thanks so much, man. You introduced me to passive income and Kindle publishing, and once you start getting into things like that, it just opens up a whole other world to you. So thanks a lot, man. And man, just it's amazing, man. How's things going with you?
Yeah, man, no, I definitely appreciate that. I mean, that's why I do what I do. You know, I love being able to create content, be able to help people and inspire people. So definitely happy, and it's always great to actually meet people and get to interact with people that you've had an impact on, because a lot of cases in your online business, you just have a weird relationship with your computer. You know, like you're just kind of seeing the views and the comments and stuff. So when you actually get to meet someone, it's pretty cool. But Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for having me on this show, and I just look forward to being able to serve in whatever way that I can.
Cool. Cody, interject a little bit. Well, Cody, what's your knowledge of Stefan? I mean, I know you know of him and a lot of him. How do you know, and who was the one who booked the guest, first of all? That was Rakin, right?
I was raking. I've watched Stefan since he had about 5,000 subscribers. In fact, I recently did a video on my YouTube channel of my top 10 favorite YouTubers, and Stefan was in that. So he was one of the videos, one of the YouTubers that I personally watched the most. I did 10 of them. So yeah, he's been a big influence to a lot of people. Very knowledgeable. He's grown a very vast business. In fact, my first person I came across was Pat Flynn from the Smart Passive Income. Second was probably Stefan that blogs that I actually read. So phenomenal entrepreneur.
Cool. So let's go right into the interview, and this is going to be a hodgepodge kind of interview. We're going to go all over the place with this. So, Stefan, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so there's someone's comment that was like, even before the show started, there was a comment in the feed, and I want to make sure I get to this because I promised the person that I would ask you this. Question, how do you get your writers so cheap but also be good quality?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think one is going overseas. Typically, when you go, you hire someone from North America, you're going to pay a lot more money. But if you go overseas to countries like the Philippines and countries like that, you can leverage the U.S. dollar, find people a lot cheaper. Especially in the Philippines, you can find a lot of people that are amazing in English, better writers than probably you and I. They've been to school for journalism, whatever it is. The minimum wage in the Philippines, I think, is about 53 cents per hour. So you're able to leverage that. And then I think another factor as well is a lot of the books that I publish are relatively short. They're about 20 to 30 pages. So you can typically hire writers really inexpensively because of that, just because the books aren't that long. They're about 5,000 words. And that's actually what sells better on Kindle. The books that are 100 pages, 200, 400 pages, the truth is a lot of those books don't really get read. I think the statistic is less than 10% or less than 10% of people read past the first chapter in a book. Whereas with Kindle, if you can price your book in the $2.99 range and actually have the shorter book with the whole, Kindle's actually released the Kindle Short Reads category, then in a lot of cases you can do better just by having shorter books. So shorter books and then just going overseas for it.
Okay, good. And add on to that question, do you do fiction, nonfiction, or both?
I do both. I started with nonfiction. I think nonfiction is a little bit easier to create content on because the information just really has to be factual and informative, like step by step. So if you have a book on meditation for beginners, it has to have the step by step on how to meditate. Whereas with fiction, you have to engage the audience a little bit more. The quality has to be a little bit better because you're telling a story. You want people to be entertained by that. So when it comes to nonfiction, I work with different companies that actually have a team of writers and editors and proofreaders, and they adhere to certain standards of quality. When it comes to fiction, I actually find individual freelancers that can be a little bit more creative and write the content for me. And sometimes fiction can cost a little bit more because you're paying for more of that creativity. Whereas with nonfiction, a lot of the information in terms of the writers, the research that they can do is various places on the internet. So if they needed to find out information about meditation, they just look on the internet, find a bunch of articles or YouTube videos, and be able to pull information from that and compile a book. Whereas with fiction, they have to use more creativity for that.
Okay, cool. Now we're going to ask you on a panel we're going to ask you kind of panel type questions. So I'm going to go first, and it'll be followed by Rakin, Cody, and Yang. So, but my question will be, you're obviously good with different streams of income, right? Whether they be active or passive. Now, my question to you is, in your current state right now, what is your favorite line of income? What is the one where you're like, oh, I just love that one. I got passion for it. It's my favorite. I want to add to it and get more out of it. I want to extract more out of it. Is it your site project Life Mastery? Is it the Kindle thing? Is it the vitamins that you have on, I'm talking about private label? What is it?
It always changes. I think the blog, for me, the blog isn't necessarily a direct way that I make money because the blog is really just a platform of content and being able to provide value and attract people to me. The way that I monetize that traffic and that list and those followers are through digital products, Kindle books, physical products, coaching, things of that nature. So the blog for me is the favorite thing that I do. I kind of describe it as a hobby that I get paid for. It doesn't feel like work. Doesn't matter if I'm in Brazil or wherever I'm in the world. And I just have my iPhone with me. I'll take it out and record a video just because I love it and it's fun for me. Kindle publishing was something I got into not because it was my passion, primarily just because it was a means to make money as passive income. I just found it to be much easier to make money from Kindle publishing than anything else that I did. In terms of a blog, YouTube channel, that's not a very immediate way to make money because you have to build a fan base and attract followers, and it typically can take a few months to build that up. Whereas with Kindle, I like that because it's just a fast and easy way. And because I've written some of my own books, but I've actually found it more efficient to outsource books and hire writers and kind of be a business owner rather than a business operator with that. But for me, that was really just a way to be able to make enough passive income so I didn't have to worry about money, and then I could then focus all my time, energy, and effort in my passion, which was my blog, YouTube channel. So really, that's what Kindle did it for me. But I mean, right now I'm passionate about Amazon, private label products. I'm also passionate about creating info products. I've created my Key Money Mastery course, and I'm actually relaunching that as Key Money Mastery 2.0. And I've got a few things in the Kindle space, but to be honest, I now want to go in a bit of a different direction. I'm actually planning on creating a self-development product because truthfully, that's really what most of my blog and my YouTube channel followers are. So I would say, blogging and just really creating content on things that I'm passionate about.
Cool. Now I see Reckon nodding his head, so I know he agrees with a lot of the things that you're saying. But Reckon, you got a question for Stefan as well. I mean, Stefan, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the people who are watching this video, most of them I would say are people who earn a lot of active income. They're probably doing eBay or Amazon, sourcing a lot from thrift stores, garage sales, Craigslist, stuff like that. Let's just say that there's somebody who does a lot of that, earning a lot of active income, and they want to get into earning passive income, but they've never really dealt with it before. They're unsure of it. They're not used to the concept of doing something once and getting paid over and over again. It kind of seems like a fairy tale, right? What advice would you have for somebody who's, they've been doing the same thing for years, but they kind of want to go outside their comfort zone and earn some passive income?
Yeah, I think that was pretty much my situation for, my early 20s. I started my first business when I was 21. I was a coaching and seminar business here in Vancouver. I did it because it was my passion, but it was just purely active work, and it was the type of business of just pure hustling, meaning like month to month, you'd only make money if you get clients, and maybe one month you can make a lot of money because you've got a lot of clients, but then the next month you have to continue getting clients and hustling and grinding in order to build that. So it was a very business where it required a lot of that hustling. I think the big key is being willing to change your strategy, because for me in that business, I was able to make a couple thousand a month, and it was okay, but I wasn't able to get to that point where I was able to scale up to the point where I am now, almost over 70,000 a month in my business. I haven't been able to scale up, not unless I learned how to use leverage myself in some way. So I was willing to change my strategy. I got into, instead of doing coaching and seminars and this active type work, to changing my approach to creating digital type products. And really, that's everything that I do now. I try to find a way that I can leverage it in some way. So I eventually started creating ebooks, because if you create an ebook, or if I record myself doing a video or something like that, at least that content, I could reuse it, put it up on the internet, or sell it as a course or a book or whatever it is. And you're only putting in the effort one time at the beginning, and then thereafter that is just going to be a sustainable stream of passive income for you. So I think once I made that shift in my head, I started changing my approach, looking for different opportunities of passive income. I did Kindle as just the easiest and fastest way for anyone that I found to get started making money with that. Then started creating other digital products, physical products, now software, things of that nature. And even with what I do in YouTube and blogs and all this stuff, the great thing about this is that this content we're creating, you can put it up on the internet, and now it can impact thousands of people, maybe for years to come, maybe even beyond your lifetime. And every time I even get asked to speak at a seminar or something like that, I only do it if they're going to record it. If I can get the recording of me speaking at a seminar, because I don't just want to impact a couple hundred people, I want to reach thousands of people, and I always just leverage myself. So I guess my answer to your question is, if you want to get started passive income, you got to look at the different models that are available. And really, there's so many models, whether it's affiliate marketing or YouTube or blogging. Actually, YouTube and blogging isn't entirely passive, because it does require constant active work to build a fan base and stuff. But whether it's Kindle or FBA, private labeling, things of that nature, I think you got to explore the different options, and some of them are easier than others, to be honest with you, and some are faster than others. And so you can take that into account, or you can just look at what you're most passionate about, you know. And I think having some active income is fine, you know, as long as you're passionate about it and you enjoy doing it. Because I've lived a life where I made passive income, I didn't have to work anymore, I just sat around doing nothing, and then eventually get bored because you know, everyone else is working and you need a purpose and something that excites you and that you're passionate about. So I would say, you know, look at all the different options. Passive income, you know, for me, it's been Kindle publishing, and that's obviously what I promote and stuff, but there's a lot of other ways out there. And, you know, I would say build up a passive income stream first, and then try to go after becoming rich and making a lot of money, because I found that if you can make passive income and just make enough so that you don't have to work at a job anymore, or you have that money support, you know, your expenses, your bills, and your lifestyle, then you don't have to worry about money. You're financially free technically, and then you can then focus your time, energy, and effort on building your passion. And that's really what I did with my blog, because, you know, a blog was something, again, that I didn't make money from for months. But the only way I was able to focus on building a blog full time was because I had this passive income that Kindle provided for me every single month. So that's just really the approach that's worked best for me.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
I know Cody is a big person, an advocate on passive income, and Cody's got several private label products, and you have a Kindle publishing business as well as a podcast business and a FBA business. So Cody's got a lot of streams going on. Cody, what's your question for Stefan?
My question is, you know, I've seen a big chunk of your videos and things over time. I know that Tony Robbins has been, you know, a big influence, but outside of him, who has been some big influences for you to really get started? You've built up, you know, a phenomenal blog with private Project Life Mastery and other things you've done, but who have been the biggest influences on you getting going?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I got into self-development when I was 17 years old. Tony Robbins was one of the biggest influencers in my life. Really changed my life, because before then I used to be very negative and depressed, and just believe that, you know, this is how we're born and this is how the way we are. But you know, Tony Robbins really made me believe that you can change. You know, you can change your life. You can become whatever you want to be. He was a big influencer for me. When I was young, I got into the dating community, because really when you're 17 years old, your goals are basically how to, you know, get So I was 17, and I was very shy before then too. So I got into really changing my life in terms of meeting women, developing my confidence, my social skills. And, you know, from that point on, I did public speaking and things of that nature. So I had a few role models in the dating industry that really influenced me a lot as well. By the time I was 21 and in my business stages, I would say, well, I'll kind of fast forward a little bit to, I guess, my blog and stuff. Pat Flynn was definitely one for me. He really inspired me, especially, I think he did this, it was like the niche site dual challenge. I remember being a part of that years ago, like 2010 or something like that. That really helped me out a lot. You know, people like Frank Kern and Evan Pagan and John Reese and John Walker, just kind of like the internet kind of guru guys out there, have influenced me a lot as well. Ryan Dice. You know, in terms of YouTube videos, I like following guys like Elliot Hulse. I was a big fan of Greg Plitt as well. He was a big influence in terms of fitness, and, you know, rest in peace for him. You know, yeah, just a number of YouTube personalities as well. And I think it's great to have role models like that, because for me, I've always just tried to take different things from different people and try to kind of like the Bruce Lee approach of just kind of taking what works for you and just kind of incorporating that into what you're doing. And even when I did my blog and stuff, you know, I realized there's a lot of blogs out there, but I need to stand out and differentiate. So that's why I also wanted to do YouTube as well as a blog post, and just have a way to stand out and differentiate from all the other people that are out there. So I've kind of taken elements from all the different people that I've looked up to.
Awesome,
Okay.
awesome.
Good response, man. If you guys are out there in YouTube land watching this right now and you enjoy this Hangout, don't forget to support this Green Room Hangout, or the Green Room in general, just by hitting the like button. That would greatly be appreciated by us, and it'll also help us to boost our next stage of the Green Room Hangouts, which will be in about 2 weeks. That's right, we're taking a break. We're getting out of here for a while, and we're going to come back with a fury, and it's going to be amazing. So Okay, Young, I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. What's your question for Stefan?
I got a couple of questions. I hope you don't mind, Stefan. First of all, I love British Columbia, love Vancouver, been there many times. I told myself if I was to ever move out of the country, it would be there. Love Robson Street, love the restaurant and the bars. So I think me and the guys should do a trip out there and visit you one of these days. I would love that. That was a beautiful place, man. So I got a couple of questions, Stefan. So as a reselling community, when we announced that you were going to come on, there was a lot of confusion. So I got a couple of questions. One, they say, and I don't do Kindle publishing yet. I'm going to get into it. I'm actually working on my first book now. But so one thing that people say is that Kindle publishing is a get-rich scheme. It's a joke. Could you please clarify that? And also, another thing that people say is, well, how can you sell something like a Kindle book when it's not your original content?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think anytime you sell anything in terms of, and I'm sure Steve can relate to this as well, anytime you promote or sell anything that's related to make money online, you immediately get put in that category of being a scam. Whatever.
Open up the doors.
So you automatically get in that category because people have a lot of skepticism and fear, and they just kind of just don't really have a label for it, so they just put it into that. It's definitely not a get-rich-quick scheme or anything like that. I mean, it is possible to make a good amount of money in a short period of time, but really I think any time that, just like with any program out there, there's always a percentage of people that have amazing results very quickly, but it's always like a very small percent. The reality is many people don't put in the work, they don't even open the program, they don't take action with it. And really, I think any path to success is challenging and hard, and especially depends on your skill level too, and just kind of where you're at. Because I think some people I've noticed, because with my Kindle publishing course, I've had over 4,000 members that have been through it, worked with hundreds of people one-on-one, group coaching, done masterminds, things of that nature, and everything. And I've been able to look at the patterns of what makes people succeed and what makes people fail. And I think there's a number of factors from that, but I think one is people that succeed are the ones that are willing to do the work. They're willing to go through the roadblocks or challenges that they might go through. I know for myself in my online journey, even with Kindle publishing, I had failures, challenges, but the people that succeed get past that. But I think there is a percentage of people that just get it. It's almost like, I kind of use the example back in high school during math. There's some people that just get math. They don't even have to study or do homework and stuff, but they get like 99% on the test. For me, I would like study and do all the work and get tutors and stuff, and I'd still get like 50%, and I just didn't get it, So, I guess, Kindle publishing, it's definitely not get rich quick. You have to put in effort, time, dedicate yourself. But I just found that out of all the methods that I've ever come across, and maybe there's something better that I know of, but it's just been faster and easier than anything else, because I have seen people that are 17 years old and 60 years old have success with it that don't require a lot of technical skills and all that sort of stuff. Sorry, I forget what your second question was.
The second question was, the people are always asking, well, how do you feel about selling information that's not yours?
Yeah, I mean that's super common in the writing and publishing industry. The whole ghostwriting industry is a multi-million-dollar industry. A lot of celebrities and people that you see that have books, reality is a lot of them just because their time isn't worth it. Unfortunately, because their time. If you're a multi-millionaire or a billionaire, it's not worth your time to sit there and write. So a lot of cases they have other people write for them and everything. And so I mean, it is extremely common. I think the way that I've always approached Kindle publishing is never as an author. I'm not an author. I mean, I have written some books that I am an author of, but I'm basically teaching people how to be a publisher, a publishing company. If you look at all the publishing companies out there, there's the CEO, the owner of that company. The publishing company hires writers or works with writers or ghostwriters, and the publishing company are the ones that publish the books and market them. So that's kind of how I've always seen myself in this process. I've kind of always viewed myself as a contractor that's building a house. If you're building a house, you're not going to do the framing and the drywall and the roofing and the electric and the plumbing and all that stuff. A good contractor is going to find all the other people to do all those things for him, and he's going to oversee it. And then that gives him the ability to now maybe build 5 or 10 houses and scale up much faster. So that's kind of how I view it in this process. And basically, you're buying the rights to different people's work, and you're basically the one that's publishing it. So you're owning the rights to everything, and you're just paying a flat fee. And there's more than enough writers and people out there. They're more than willing to do that. And I think it's really no different than the blogging model. A lot of blogs even. They pay content writers to write content for them. They publish it as their own. So it is a very common thing, and I think it is a cool thing now that the internet has provided for us.
Yeah, and I think in addition also, I mean, I guess it's fair to say, I mean, because I was thinking about this, I was like, what am I going to ask Stefan? Because like I said, I do want to get into Kindle publishing, but I was thinking about my questions, and I guess in addition to what you just said, I guess also you can look at, I don't know, who's the hot singer these days? Taylor Swift. Like when she probably sings a song that pulls in $2-3 million, chances are she probably didn't write that song, right?
Actually, she writes a lot of her songs, just so you know.
Well, I'm sure. but at the same time, there are probably songs that she hasn't written, right? That probably like number one.
She writes them all, every single one.
Right. See.
Oh yeah, no, that is.
Cody is a Taylor Swift fan. That's okay though. I like her too.
I got daughters. I got an excuse. You don't.
But yeah, I guess in addition, you can say the same thing about the music industry, though, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is very common amongst the industry. A lot of celebrities, they just have the look or whatever.
Absolutely.
They have a lot of it's manufactured by companies and stuff, and because part of it too, when you, especially when publishing companies or these agencies or whatever it is, they have to be able to have something that's marketable. Right, so not just something that Taylor Swift maybe wrote this, but it has to be marketable to the public as well. So even if you did create your own song or write your own book, a lot of cases you take it to the publishing company and they're going to change it around because they need to be able to make it sellable and marketable for the masses.
True. And just I'm sorry, Chris, just one more thing. But also, it's not like you created the system. The system was already put in place. You and Steve and Cody just took advantage of the system. So it's not like you guys created this. So the confusion of you guys are creating this get-rich scheme and all that, that's baloney, right? Obviously, you guys saw an advantage. You guys saw potential. You just, if anything, contact Amazon, contact Jeff Bezos and complain to him. Don't complain to Stefan or Steve, right?
One thing I'd like to add, too, is, and I'm sure Stefan could touch on this, because we've all, like Stefan said before, we've made mistakes and we learn. Have you ever published a book that wasn't high quality? Because I have, especially when I got started experimenting with different writers. And I already know the answer to this, but I just want to pass it off to you. What would happen if you published a book that was really bad and it started getting a lot of 1 stars? Is it going to make you money? Do you have any incentive to want to publish a good book?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's a big misconception that a lot of people have. I mean, when I first started, I had a few books that weren't the best quality, but that's basically the learning curve and the process that I went through. And what you'll learn is that anything that sucks or is low quality is not going to last long term. You might make money over a month, but really it's just a matter of time before that book or that product gets negative reviews. And sure enough, no one's going to buy that, right? So the only thing that prevails over the long run is high quality. I created my course back in 2013. I've since updated it a lot as well, relaunching Key Money Mastery 2.0. And my very second video, even if you go on the course now, is the importance of quality, right? Like I actually teach that as one of the second videos I think in my course, emphasizing the importance of quality. And every book does get negative reviews, just like every person out there has negative reviews, whether you're Harry Potter or whatever. It doesn't matter what book out there. But I think it's using that as feedback and improving it. If you have the philosophy of Kaizen, which is a Japanese philosophy of constant, never-ending improvement, then you'll always succeed over the long run. So if you get that negative review, and maybe it's something like, there's a grammatical error in your book, or your book was too short, or whatever, that's a great opportunity to improve your book, make it better. And the great thing with Kindle, you're just like a click away of republishing that book. It's not like you have a big inventory of 1,000 books and you can't fix it. Or even with CreateSpace, everything is print on demand. So it's very easy to fix that, to change that, and I do emphasize in my program, and it's my philosophy and everything. Even with my Kindle course, I'm relaunching Key Money Master 2.0. I'm not even charging people for it. Everyone that's a member is going to get that for free, just because, like, a lot of people, they create a course and they move on to the next course, but I've always wanted it to be the best out there. And everything that I produce or publish, anything out there, I want it to be the best out there. I want it to add value to as many people as possible, because that's my mission. I'm not just about making money. Early in the stages of my career, money was a higher priority for me and focus, and it still is to some extent, but now for me, my values are contribution first. And I think that's the key that's also made me successful in my blog and YouTube channel, because when you just continually add value to people, you receive back, and that's the cool thing about it.
Yeah, I do have a question. So what do you do? Is there any hope for the people that are, short-sighted, or, oh, it's a scam, or, finding all kinds of reasons to doubt what is actually occurring right now, right? Doubt your income stream. Is there any kind of hope for those kind of people, or are you just like, all right, you know what, this isn't the crowd that I'm even going after in the first place, it doesn't matter? I mean, we're talking about the people that some labels haters, doubters, skeptics. I mean, what do you do with those kind of people when they come to your, inevitably you're on YouTube, you got 35, 36,000 subscribers, people are watching your videos, they find you through your blog, on Google. Like, what do you do when these people come your way and they're skeptic? I mean, you obviously don't have all the time in the world to try to convert people. How do you handle people like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, number one, who you are always shines through, especially over the long run. If people get a judge of your character, and people look at my body of work. I've got hundreds of videos on YouTube. They'll get a good idea of who I am, what I'm about, my values, my character. And I think if you have that honesty and integrity, all those qualities, that will eventually shine through for most people. And I had a number of people that initially were skeptical, and I know this because I've met a lot of people that have done my course, I've interviewed them, and they were initially skeptical or didn't really believe it, but as they got to know me and just saw the value I was providing, my value, all that sort of stuff, they eventually just shifted their belief and their paradigm about that. So I think that's one key thing, and I think that is one thing that makes me a little bit different as well, because a lot of the internet products out there, they're just kind of like a PowerPoint presentation. There's no person really behind it, whereas with me, you can see who I am, what I'm about, my YouTube, my life, all that sort of. I'm very transparent with everything, so I'm able to build more of a relationship and trust with people, and that's kind of been always my approach. So I think that's one thing. I think the other thing as well is people have fear and skepticism and doubt, because really skepticism is just fear. People have been disappointed so many times that they're afraid and terrified of getting their hopes up. Maybe they've failed before in the past. And one of my favorite Tony Robbins quotes is that the past does not equal the future. And as long as people are living, just thriving in the future, looking at the rearview mirror, they're not going to get ahead. So I just really focus on adding value, and I don't try to please everybody or speak to everybody. Really I'm trying to speak to the people that believe in the message and what I'm saying. Of course there are haters and people that don't like you and stuff, but I think that's natural. I think that's actually an indicator of success in many ways. And if you are getting that, then you're doing something right. So I think that's the other thing. But I think the other thing as well is the people that have the skepticism, the fear, and those are the people that you really don't really even want as customers, because those are the ones that are going to be more likely to refund it or complain about it or just always look for something that's wrong. And I'll give you a good example. I have a friend of mine who's a good-looking guy who used to go out to talk to girls and things like that, and he never believed that women would like him. He just had this belief in his head that no women could like me. And so we'd be out, and he'd maybe talk to a girl, and the girl would be responding to him and stuff, and I'd go and ask him oh, awesome, that girl liked you, and he'd be like, no, she was just being nice. She was just being polite to me. He just couldn't see it because he had a blind spot, a scotoma. And then maybe he'd get a girl's phone number, and then he'd be like, yeah, but, it was probably a fake number, and she was just nice to me, and wasn't that interested. And then even if you went on a date with a girl, you'd still justify it as she was just being nice and felt sorry for him. So as long as you carry that belief, whatever you believe will be true for you, whether it's real or not. If you believe this is a scam or it's not going to work, then you're always going to find ways to justify that belief because your brain doesn't want to be wrong. So in many ways, you have to change your beliefs, your belief system, and I think that's one of the, I try to reach more people by, I've started interviewing people that have had success with my program, but I've had a number of people that are they comment and they say that I don't live in a penthouse, or I don't have that car, I just rented that car, and things of that nature, and it's kind of just ridiculous. Whenever just because they can't get themselves to believe that can be
That's
real.
a green screen behind you, Stefan. That's a green screen.
So it is kind of ridiculous, with that, but it's an unfortunate thing because it limits many people. I know even for myself, I always give things the benefit of the doubt. Even in terms of supplements, a lot of supplements you don't know whether or not it really works. But I found that even supplements, they work to the extent that you believe that it works. Because in many ways, if you have a placebo effect and you believe that by taking the supplement you're going to gain muscle, then you probably will. So for me, I don't even care if it works, because if I have the belief that it works, that's good enough for me, because I know that my belief will overpower anything else. So belief is everything.
Well said. Well said.
Stefan, do you mind if we shift over to a topic that I'm really excited to ask you about? And I know Cody does this, and a lot of us have been talking about it. Could you talk a little bit about your experience with Amazon FBA recently and private label? Because if anybody's been following you, you've been dropping some killer videos lately, and you've been having some good success. So why don't you share real quick what you've been up to in terms of Amazon FBA?
Yeah, sure. So I got into Amazon FBA because really I'm a part of several mastermind groups. I have a number of friends that are having a lot of success with it, and it was just blowing my mind. And Matt Clark and Jason Katzenbach, who have created this program called Amazing Selling Machine, they're in one of my mastermind groups as well. And I just saw, just crazy numbers from a lot of these people. And because I was already in the Kindle publishing business, I just thought it was a logical transition, because I'm already selling on Amazon. I have experience with it. So the FBA was just another thing that I was kind of curious about. So I invested in a great course that helped me get started with it. Honestly, I didn't, I had the course, but I didn't really do much with it because I was just so busy with other projects. But my girlfriend actually wanted to get into it and was a little bit more passionate about it than I was. And so she got started with it, and I wanted to support her, so I did my own product as well. And she just kept getting further ahead than me, so I just had to in the program, and she's still even doing way better than I am on her Amazon product. So I just been following the training and program with that. I'm using a selling machine and learned a lot. About 6 months ago, I decided to take on a group of individuals that wanted to build an Amazon business, and I work with them in a group coaching format, help them build their business and have some success with it. I decided to get into the supplement market because I've been passionate about fitness for a few years now. I've done 2 fitness competitions. I plan on doing more in the future, and I wanted a product that I can personally use myself. And something, because also in Project Life Mastery, I don't want to be limited to making money online. I'm actually more passionate about fitness and health and, self-development and I'm actually more passionate about those areas than I am about making money online. So I actually want to be able to blog and create YouTube videos about that and go in that direction, maybe even create courses on health and fitness. So I wanted to build a brand of supplements, and I've launched my first one in the last, it's been about doing $3,000 in sales in the last few days. It's been climbing up, which has been really cool. Starting with my next one pretty soon, and honestly, I haven't really done much. That's kind of like the crazy thing about it. I really feel like I haven't done much with it because, like I said, I'm running like 4 or 5 other businesses, and I work on it like a few hours every month. So it is. I mean, that's the power of passive income. Once you build something, you get reviews on it. It just sustains itself. In many ways, will grow on its own as well.
Yeah, so you're pretty transparent about your actual healthcare product that is on Amazon. I watched one of your videos from start to finish. I thought it was just totally well produced. I think you were talking behind the scenes you were doing a lot of screen sharing on that one video, right? You were showing people, with the mouse pointer, exactly where to go on everything, and you were completely transparent. I think as of that video, you were pulling in 1,500 passive just on this one private label product, right?
2,500.
2,500. Sorry. Okay. So 2,500. Now, naturally, you sent X amount in, right? You sent X amount of this one product in. I don't know, 500. I mean, how many? The quantity? How much was it?
Yeah, 500? So I did. So my product, and this is actually the unique thing. Yeah, a lot of people in FBA, they don't want to share their product. They're very protective about that stuff. But I was like, I need to differentiate myself. I'm going to be transparent, be true to that. So I decided to share my product with acid, supplement, L-carnitine. I wanted to go after something that I knew I could win at. There were other products that I wanted to do, but they're a little bit more competitive. And I didn't go after the biggest money maker. I just went after something that I knew that I could get a good feel for, make money at, and then my next product, now that I have experience, I'll go after something a little bit bigger. So, so what I did with that, yeah, I made my first inventory order. Well, before that, I talked to a lot of different suppliers in the United States. I wanted to find something that's really high quality, something that I have a friend who's in the supplement industry as well, and he's super health conscious person, really amazing at that. So I got all the lab assays from all the different suppliers. I didn't even know what any of this stuff meant, but I had to look over everything just to make sure it's the highest quality product. Each bottle that I have, I think over ordering 1,000 units was about $5 and something per bottle. I knew I could sell it up to as a premium product up to $20 on Amazon if I got enough reviews and ranked it high enough. And so I ordered about 1,000 units, so it cost me a bit over $1,000, or sorry, $5,000. Yeah, so really that's what I've invested so far in that. And I've done a few promotions and things of that nature, and invested a little bit to help build it up. Of course, I'm not sure exactly how much I've invested, but it honestly hasn't even been that much.
So how many units have you sold to date? I mean, you probably don't check it that much, but like, what do you think? I mean, how many months has it been going live for right now? 2 or 3?
Well, I launched it in, I think, February 2015, and when I first launched it, it was like you couldn't even find it on Amazon for its keyword. Because once you search for the keyword, you get like page 20, then it's just like it doesn't even show you anything after that. So, I think I just got some help from some friends and gave away some products to help get it ranked and stuff. I've sold, man, I didn't even know, to be honest with you. Like I'm really bad at checking stats. Like I think when a lot of people, they get into making money online, they just continually check their stats and stuff. But I'm a little bit guilty of that. I'm just not even knowing. But I know it's been doing about 3,000 over the last 30 days now. Sold a couple hundred at least units of it. Yeah, and so it all started in February. I got my first sales in February as well, and I think it was, last month in March when it really started to take off.
Cool. And you are, you're basically doing a private label product involving FBA, to where you get it one time, and by the time you get it to your doorstep, it's already labeled with, the way that you put your label and everything. I watched your video; it was really cool. And you basically, I guess, put did you have them sticker it, or did you sticker it yourself?
Well, I found the supplier who's already sourcing and manufacturing the product, ordered the inventory, created my own label and packaging for it, sent it to them, they put it on. Sticker, are you referring to with the Amazon sticker that they require, or are you talking about the label?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, did that product ever physically come to your house or your doorstep?
I got samples of it beforehand, and then when I launched the product, I received my product beforehand.
And then you shipped it to them, right?
Oh no! I shipped it directly.
Directly, okay.
I was in Florida. I live in Canada, so I just shipped it directly to the Amazon fulfillment centers. Because Amazon, they give you multiple fulfillment centers as well. That's
cool, man. So at some point, when it crosses the 500 mark, maybe you sold 500 units or 600, you're going to start going, all right, I need to replenish this thing, right? Yeah, I've actually got my next inventory coming on the way as well. So yeah, you want to always make sure you're keeping in stock and everything. And I think that the main thing at the beginning is proving a concept. You don't want to create like a big inventory if you don't even know if it's going to sell or not. So for me, I just ordered 1,000 units. I just wanted to test the waters with it. I always knew that if my product didn't sell for whatever reason, that I could always just lower the price of it and just kind of break even and just kind of at least replenish my investment back. And I think that's one of the cool things about it. But once I knew it was selling, I sold a couple hundred. And even with my supplier, it takes them about a month to manufacture it and everything as well. So I needed to make sure there's enough lead time. And I think that one of the challenges is that inventory and making sure everything's in stock, because I'm on the first page for my keyword on Amazon. But I know that if I got number one, I'd run an inventory pretty fast, right? Because if I'm selling 20, 30, whatever units per day, then I'd run out of inventory pretty fast. And if you're out of stock, the ranking's going to drop from Amazon. I think they even remove you from the Amazon listing as well. So for me, like now, I've kind of gone in maintenance mode, and that's why I haven't done a lot of work on it either, because I want to wait till my next inventory comes in before I'm more aggressive to be able to get it to that #1 position on Amazon. And I haven't really even promoted it to my blog or anything either. And I think I wanted to prove to myself I could do it without having a blog or YouTube channel. Because I know if I launch it to my blog, do some videos, that there are going to be
some of my followers are going to buy it just to support me or because they want it or whatever, you know. So it's going to be, I know that with my blog gives it that boost, it will benefit me more, but I want to make sure I have enough stock first.
When it comes to ranking your physical products on Amazon FBA, what are some similarities and differences in terms of Kindle publishing? Because we've been doing that for a while, and you know, I know exactly how to rank things on Kindle, but I've never done a physical product, a private label. It's something that I'm really excited about. Cody's pumping me up about it. You've been getting me inspired. So what are some of the similarities and differences with Kindle publishing, ranking your Kindle ebooks, and ranking your physical books, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty much similar. I mean, the algorithm is pretty much almost the same. I mean, one is keyword optimizing your listing, having the keyword in the title, as well as the keyword section and everything. With Kindle, I know that having the keyword early as possible in the title ranks it a lot better. You know, so if you have a book on meditation, you want that to be the very first word. And the unfortunate thing is Amazon doesn't really reward what's aesthetically attractive in terms of titles. They just reward like better keyword optimization. So a lot of these titles are kind of ugly because you got to have that keyword because everyone else is doing that. So in order to compete with them, you have to do that as well. The keyword optimization is key, but really, I mean, sales and reviews, you know, is what Amazon rewards. Amazon only wants to rank at the top position what sells. If you're ranked at the top but you're not selling, then they're going to be like, hey, nobody wants this, so we're going to drop you down because, you know, they want to make money, right? They only want the people to rank at the top that are actually selling and making money. So sales and reviews, you know, one of the benefits with Amazon FBA, you can do promotions, coupon codes, and everything, so you can, you know, get sales at a cheaper price or give away products for like $2 or whatever to help the sales be able to rank higher. Another core thing as well is Amazon looks at the keyword that people search for in order to buy, to find your product and buy it. So for example, Amazon kind of has a history of how people found your product and purchased it. So for example, if someone types in, you know, yoga mat or whatever, and they, you know, find your product and they buy it, Amazon then associates the keyword yoga mat to that product. I've even found, I've even seen, you know, in the Kindle books, certain books that show up for like 60 different keywords, and that's not possible to have that many keywords in your title or your keyword section. But what a lot of people do is you can actually put the keywords in your title or the keyword section, have people search for it and buy it for that keyword, then swap the keywords for something else, and then now rank for those. And basically Amazon will remember that history of how people found your product, so they'll rank you for all those different keywords.
Wow.
So there are some kind of cool techniques and strategies that you learn just from doing this for years. And but yeah, I mean, the keywords is key, and Amazon ads even. And I think even just sending traffic from outside of Amazon, I think they reward people for that as well and rank you higher.
Thank you.
That's amazing, man. So let me ask you this. Okay, let's just fast forward a little bit. So you've had this product, your very first private label product on Amazon, and you're about 2 months into it. And when you first got on there, you were making mistakes. You were on page 20, maybe page 30, whatever, for this L-carnitine thing now. And you figured out a couple things, right? This is your very first product. I've watched the video, so I know the answer to this. But Stefan, where are you now ranked with that product on, what page are you on now on your product?
I'm on the first page. I think I'm in maybe the top 10 or top 15 for it.
That's amazing. That's your first product. I mean, that's your very first attempt at something brand new, right?
Yeah. I mean, and in many ways, I mean, I had, in some ways, I think a bit of an advantage because I have some experience online and do a little bit about how Amazon work. But in many ways, I feel like I had a disadvantage too, because a lot of people that get into Amazon, that's like their core thing, and they can dedicate more time to it. Whereas for me, I just haven't had as much time to focus on and dedicate time to it because I have other businesses that are more of a priority for me as well. So, you know, my girlfriend is more impressive what she's done because I, in many ways, learn a lot from her too. And I mean, she's also goes to school and also has a full-time job and is able to do it as well as Kindle publishing too. So, and she didn't. This is the crazy thing. She didn't have a computer until like 2 months ago. She did everything on her iPhone. And I think she used like her, like if she had to do something that required a computer, she would like use her brother's computer in his room like once in a while, you know. So it does blow my mind what's possible with it, but it just kind of shows the potential of Amazon. You know, Amazon's going to do $100 billion, I think, this year. They did $88 billion, I think, last year. So they're growing massively, and I really feel, I mean, here in Canada, and I'm sure in the U.S. as well, Walmart and Target, they're closing down, because people, especially with Amazon in the U.S., it's like you can get stuff delivered to you in like an hour or 2 hours after you order it. So it's becoming a world where I think over the next 10 or 20 years, everything's going to be done online. That's just how people are living their lives now. So I love the opportunity that it provides.
Cool. Now we're going to do some rapid fire stuff real quick. So basically questions are going to be flying and same with the answers. You ready to do some quick answering?
Yeah.
Okay, and by the way, let's do the first of the rapid fire will be, all right, now that we have 90 viewers in the room and you've obviously piqued a lot of interest, not only in the admin team, but probably out there in YouTube land. So how can people find you again right now? If they want to find out more about you and travel this journey with you, how can they get in touch with you and follow you?
Yeah, just say go to my blog, projectlifemastery.com. It depends how you like to absorb content. If you like YouTube videos, then check out my YouTube channel, subscribe to that. If you want to hear about me from email, then subscribe to my email list on projectlifemastery.com. Or if you like podcasts and you want to consume my information that way, then go to my podcast and search for Project Life Mastery on iTunes.
Okay, cool. All right, so the first question is going to come straight out of the green room. Brandon Rogers says, what do you think of reselling as a full-time job? And what tips would you give to anyone who is a full-time reseller? So now it's a little bit of a switch up here. What would you think about reselling? First, let's take that first one. What do you think of reselling as a full-time job?
Honestly, I'm not that familiar with that business. In terms of reselling, is that selling on eBay and everything? Like, you get products and then resell it on eBay, or how does that work?
Yeah, I think you're technically reselling when you do the private label thing, actually. I mean, that is reselling something right there. But you strike me as the kind of person who's definitely more into the passive side of income rather than the active side of income.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of, from what I understand from it, in terms of FBA, selling on Amazon and everything, yeah, I definitely love that type of business. I think there are some downsides to it, and I've kind of done a comparison with it in terms of Kindle publishing and other things. I think one, it does require money, a startup investment, because you have to have an inventory, and even then, it can be a little bit more challenging to be able to pull money from it, because in a lot of cases you have to reinvest back into it to keep your inventory afloat with that. So I think that's kind of a little bit of a disadvantage with it, but I think it has very high potential. Like, I know people that are making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month selling just on Amazon, doing just that, So I think the potential of it, especially if you leverage something like Amazon or eBay or whatever it is, I mean, they have the traffic, the search, volume, all that sort of stuff that you can kind of take advantage of. So I love that about it. I see this as a long-term stream. I like the ability to be able to build a brand around it. I feel like Kindle publishing in many ways, I mean, it is, I feel like, a very quick and easier way to make money, but I don't see it as something that you can easily scale up to the point where you're making, 50,000 or more per month from it. I think it's a little bit harder and more challenging with the Kindle method of that. But in terms of making just a couple hundred, a couple thousand a month, I like Kindle for that reason. But with Amazon, the reselling and stuff, it's the inventory, the profit margins, there's a bit of a downside, whereas if you're selling a digital product, then there's not much overhead or expenses in that regard as well. But I do like it as a business model. And one thing I've always learned and always believed is always to diversify as well. So if you can build a business that has a physical component as well as a digital component, then that's king. If you can build that, and I think if you are selling a physical product and reselling or whatever, and if you actually focus on building a blog, YouTube channel, a brand beyond that, you don't just have the product, but you're actually building that platform to support it, building the brand, I think that's the better long-term strategy. And that gives you the ability to also have digital products as well. Even with my product, as a bonus for buying my product, I have an ebook. I want to get my customers that buy my physical product on my email list, because if it's on my email list, then maybe I can offer some additional fitness products to them and digital type products as well. So I would say diversify with both if you can.
Okay. Cool. Here's a question from Cotton Face out of the YouTube chat here. This is a while back, so we're going to read a lot of questions here. How many books would you suggest publishing per month, beginner stage?
Really, I mean, when you're first starting out, I recommend at least 2, but not more than like 4 or 5. And the reason is when you're first starting, I'll give you an example. I mean, my brother, he got, by the way, my entire family's in the Kindle publishing. My brother, my mom, my cousin, like all this, it's crazy. But when they first started, they did 2 books. One was, I think, a book on essential oils, because that's what his wife was into. And my brother has a renovations business, so he published a construction book. And it turns out the construction one didn't sell that well, but the essential oils one in that market sold really well. And I've seen a number of people that, they start with one book and maybe it doesn't work out as well as they'd like, so they get discouraged and they give up. So that's why I always recommend at least do 2 different books, because you need to have success early in anything, because that success gives you the confidence and the momentum to keep the process going. If you just, you do something, you're not sure if it's going to work, and sure enough it doesn't work, you fail on it, which everybody does at some point with Kindle or any business, they get discouraged, they give up, and they're like, oh, that doesn't work. So at least 2, but at the same time, you kind of have to view your first books as kind of training wheels. You're just getting started, because you will make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Nobody, does something and it's 100%, even if you have the best training out there. So keep that in mind. I always recommend do 2 at first. The next round, maybe double that and do 4 books, and just scale up at a pace that you feel most comfortable with. And I think the goal isn't to have 100 books. The goal is to make as much as you can from the least amount of books possible. I know people making $10,000 a month from 10 books. I also know people making $10,000 a month from 100 books. I know people making $10,000 a month from 300 books. Obviously, you want to be the one that has the least amount of books making the most amount of money, right? So people think that it's just publishing a ton of books, but it's not. It's focusing on doing things right, focusing on quality, getting to the right markets and niches, and then even then, all the books you want to publish, you don't want to just publish in random markets and niches. You want to pick what your niche is. If it's fitness and weight loss, then you can publish a lot of different books in that space and have them complement each other and cross-promote each other. You don't want to be into weight loss and then into investing and then into relationships and then into yoga. You got to pick a core market and just focus on building up that one market.
Okay. We're getting close to the end of the show, but we're going to talk about a couple because I think a lot of people are probably getting their interest piqued on the Kindle thing here. And so, Cody, one mistake that you're guaranteed to make or that you made in Kindle publishing the first month. I mean, what's the most common mistake you have to say right now? What is it?
A lot of people get tripped up when it comes to actually promoting their books. So they get really excited, make a couple of books. But, when I first got started, I didn't spend enough time figuring out how to promote my books, which was pretty pathetic since I've been a marketer since 2010, making my income. And even I messed up on that. So, yeah, I mean, that's one thing is really go through the steps. Don't try to, watch people like myself or Steve or Stefan who make good money doing this. Start with one book and do the whole process the right way, and then go to, your second, your third, your 10th. Do one from start to finish, have success, do all the processes. I came out the gate with too many books and was just a giant mess, had to take a step back to move forward.
Okay. Rakin, biggest mistake, first month.
Man, just doing what everybody else is doing. Same covers, same cover creators, same topics, same, because a lot of the people, they don't really focus on quality and just doing the same thing as everybody else and not really kind of going my own way. I think that's really important to kind of take information from a course and just, don't just copy it, but kind of take it your own way because we're all different. We have different strengths and weaknesses. Take it, put your own spin on it. And until I really started doing that, that's when I started having the most success, when I just went my own way, took a risk, and yeah, that's probably one of my biggest mistakes.
Okay. Young, make sure you're taking notes, bro. All right. This is for you, Young. All right. Stefan. Biggest mistake, first month.
Yeah, I would say it's just doing the bare minimum. I think a lot of people, they publish a book, they just do bare minimum to be able to, promote that book or get reviews for it. And in many cases, I've seen a number of people, they're like, hey, Stefan, my book's not selling. And I'm like, okay, let me take a look at it. And I see it, and it's got 5 reviews or something like that. And I look at the other books in the market, and they've got 20 reviews. And they've got a better cover, and kind of similar to what Steve was saying as well. I'm like, okay, how do you expect this book to sell and make you money if everyone else is, you just kind of do the bare minimum, and really the ones that are successful are the ones that are willing to do more than everybody else. So if I look into a market, it's profitable, everyone else has got 20 reviews, then I know I need to get 30 reviews. I need to be more aggressive in promoting my book, and I think a lot of people, they focus on publishing too many books out there at once, which dilutes their focus and prevents them from being able to focus on that one book and building it up to that point, have that book make you the most amount of money possible. So I would say just don't do the bare minimum, and as long as you have the mentality of just willing to do more than everyone else, hustle, do whatever it takes, put in the extra hours, you will be successful. Just like with anything in life, really. So, yeah.
Cool. Very good. And I guess the very last question of the night, I'm going to have to ask it here. So let's talk about Stefan 5 and 10 years down the road, because obviously if your mentors are Flynn and Tony Robbins, you got to have that 5 and 10-year outlook. What does it look like for you, man?
Yeah, for me, my vision with Project Life Mastery has ultimately been, not just focused on one specific niche. And I knew that before I started it. I think, it is a better way to start a blog or YouTube channel focused just on passive income or whatever it is. But I knew that if I did that, I'd eventually get bored of that and I would lose passion for it. So for me, I really emphasize life mastery, not just finances, but really the areas of life that are more important than money. Your health, your emotions, your family, your relationships. These are things that actually are way more important. They're going to give you way more fulfillment and joy in your life. But a lot of people don't really understand that. They make a lot of money and then come to that realization. So for me, I see Project Life Mastery as being able to, as I evolve, I want to share everything that I've learned that's benefited me in my life. That's my mission, is to grow and to give. So, fitness, health, relationships, other streams that I make money online with, contribution, happiness, self-development, spirituality, all those different things. I want to have different programs and courses, physical products, whatever it is. And so I'm just going to continue building that and just be able to represent that balance in life and not just having a lot of money or whatever, but being able to have a life that's balanced and you're kicking ass in every area.
Cool. Well, we can't wait to watch you go down that road, and you're in the public eye, right? You're on YouTube. You're showing people that you can do it, and if you're a dedicated person, you guys got to subscribe to his channel. And it's not just some fly-by-night channel either, because I know Rickon's been watching it forever, and I know Cody's been watching it forever, and I know obviously you've been there. How many videos do you have up right now, Stefan?
200 and something, 240.
Okay, so it's safe to say that you're there to stay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we promised an hour show, and we want to stay true to our word. There's so many more questions. When we get into our new green room hangouts and all that stuff, promise us that you'll come back to our show, maybe with your second or third or fourth private label product, and maybe your 500th Kindle book, whatever. But we want to go down this journey with you. We want you to report back to us. Whatever direction your Project Life Mastery heads, we want to help you promote it as well. So we're here for you, man. We really enjoy you coming over here for an hour and speaking to our audience. And we only hope to give you some of our followers that want to engage in this, completely another form of income, several streams that you engage with, and we want people to see that that's possible, right? There's always got to be someone or some people or a group or a mastermind group that really has to show you, like, look, it is possible. I made the mistakes and I did it, and I'm a living proof, of that is totally possible to do in this world. So do you have any parting words for us or the crew that's watching you right now on YouTube?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys again for taking the time to have me on the show. I feel blessed. I don't forget where I've came from and the journey and transformation. So, this is really why I do what I do, to be able to help people. So I want to thank you guys and just keep up the awesome work that you guys are doing. And I think you guys are helping a lot of people and changing lives and bringing awareness. And I think, it's great. So just keep up the awesome work.
Okay, well, we'll see all of you guys in the future. Thanks for watching the Green Room Hangout number 56, and we will see you in 2 weeks on our new channel, The Green Room, and you'll see it. If you're following us on Facebook, we'll definitely show you how to get to that channel and how to watch Green Room Hangout number 1. That's right, we're starting a whole new series. 2 weeks. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.